Hello, welcome back. The last time I talked about how to use the brackets and the kind of extensions that you have to install to get yourself started with either the graphics class or the web programming class. Now, in this session, I've intentionally opened the VLE for you to see. Now, under the topic 2, which is the hypertext markup language, all the videos that I'm going to upload under HTML will be found here, which is the web programming video lecture series. So I will list all the videos in here. Now, without wasting much time, I'm going to delve into today's activity where we will start with the introduction of HTML, how to know the normal skeleton tags and the syntax that are necessary to be able to code in the brackets and also for the browser to understand and interpret the code that we've created. Now, these will be the topics that we're going to talk about. We've already touched on the brackets and also the installing the extension. So today we'll start with some basic layouts. I will talk a little briefly about the meta tags, the H and the P tags, how to insert images and also videos into your web HTML file, how to insert links like the A tags, forms, list, comments, tables, and some few other things. I'm going to talk about all of them in here. All right, so briefly, without wasting much time, I'm going to go through the first one, which is the basic layout. All right, so from here, you can see the last thing we did was we had our doc type already typed in here. This is what the browser is going to interpret and know that beneath the doc type, any information that we have here is the one that is going to be interpreted, and it's an HTML. So we have the head, we have the HTML, the head, the title, and the body. And from here, I told you that you can click on this icon, which is the live preview, to display any information that you type here. As you can see, the body is now displaying, I have a pen. If I keep typing, you will see that everything that I type is being displayed at the other side, which is found in the browser. Now, this is one way of doing it. So within this, I've opened a folder in my computer where I have within the www folder, I have another folder called HTML. So within that is where I have my HTML file. All right, so I'm going to erase all of this, and using the emit package, I can easily type this. I did this by just typing the exclamation mark and hitting the tab key. I'm believing you've already installed the packages that are necessary for this. So when you type the exclamation sign and you press on the tab key, it will list all the information that the skeletal information that HTML needs to have before we will be able to create our information. So I'll save this one. Then from here, you can see you have HTML, then the language is equal to English, and I have a meta char set of UTF-8, and from here I have the document's name. So this is going to be maybe basic or HTML class. So that is going to be my title. So I can click on this one to have a live preview. So I have a live preview over here. So in the body, I don't have anything in there. So this is where we're going to have to type our things. Now, by default, these are the information that we have. There are other times that you have to also insert some kind of icons, as you can see over here. You can see I have an icon, a fav icon that is being displayed over here when just by the title when we open the web page. So I want us to add an icon in here. So in doing so, we go back again to just still within the head. We type a link. So we type a link, and this time round, the link is a rel of icon, and the href is the location of where the image is going to be. So at the moment, we don't have any image in here. So I'm going to create a folder here where all my images are going to be saved. So I have an images folder. Let me add another folder called styles folder, or better still CSS. So that is going to hold all my CSS. So quickly, I'm going to copy a picture which I would want to use as a fav icon for my HTML class. So I'll quickly copy, look out for a picture. Let me use this. I can drag it into the images folder. Okay, so this is the picture. Let me drag it into the images folder in here. All right, since it's not really picking up, so I'll copy the picture and go and put in my drive C, www folder, the arms, and the www folder into the folder where I have my HTML. So I'll put it inside images. So if I refresh the page, you can see images has this particular picture, which is this one. All right. So now I can reference this particular file. So let me go back again to this. So now I can reference this by going into the images folder and going into the images folder and selecting the image in here. So you can see automatically the fav icon has been activated over here. Now if I mistakenly probably type something else, the fav icon has vanished because the file extension was wrong. So I have the fav icon now activated. All right, so that is about it. So now quickly, there is another thing that I want us to also talk about, which is now most of the things that we do on our computer, most of the websites that we have, we also view them on our phones. So there is this meta tag that we need to include in our head tag that will make it very easy for mobile phones to also make our websites responsive, so that whatever we view here can also be viewed on the mobile phone correctly. So the meta tag that we're going to talk about is by name viewport. So in the same way, I'll just call it's a meta tag. So I'll just type meta. And the meta tag, just like how you saw it, has a name, and the name of the meta tag is called viewport. So viewport, and it has another attribute called content. So the content is what is really going to help us put in the width of the width that we would want to include in our work. So I'll quickly put in the width in here. We have the width. Let me see, content. So the meta tag, that's a tag. It has a name called viewport, and the content that we are going to put in here is going to display the width should be equal to the device width. So if the device is a mobile phone, it should render it to fit the mobile phone's width. And the initial scale that we're going to use is going to be a scale of 1. So in that case, we'll have we'll scale it up. We'll scale the application to 1, that's more or less 100% based on the width. So I'll close this meta tag. All right, so you can see from here that most of the tags that we have in here have opening and closing, but the ones that we have put in the in our application does not have a closing or a closing or a closing and ending, but rather it has just a straight one. So we call set tags as singleton tags. So those ones, they don't have a closing, they just have an opening. So those are called singleton tags. So now we have the char set, which is the car set, which is UTF-8. We also have the fav icon already linked for our web page, and we have the viewport also making it easier to render our information in here. So as time goes on, we would go through how this whole process is. So let's let's try and go on to, so we've talked about the basic layout, which is getting the layout ready. We've also talked about the meta tags, which I just mentioned over here. We've also